Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenmara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your elemental energy reading for the month of June of 2026 for the element of Earth. Earth covers the zodiac signs of, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So if you're Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or have Earth high up in your charts, this message is for you. If you've never had your charts read before, there is a link in the description to a natal chart through Llewellyn. It's not sponsored or anything like that. I just like to give you guys the tools available if you're interested to check them out. And that chart comes with the base 12 houses with all the little signs and symbols. And then there is a 10 to 20 page description of what all that dots and lines mean. So you can check that out. And there's a section in there on the elemental alignment, which is pretty cool. Other than that, we'll get started with our I-ching hexagram, which I cast the hexagram before the reading. And you ended up with number 55, and the title is called Abundance. What's interesting is as I was casting this hexagram, this is the symbol, and my first impression before I even knew what the number was it was a hidden treasure kept beneath the well. Keep digging is what the energy that came through was as I was just casting the runes here, or casting this I-ching. And then I looked up the title of it, and it's called Abundance, which kind of makes sense with the impression that I got right off the bat. So let's take a peek here at our text. Abundance and success, the king inspires them. Do not be sad. It is fitting to be like the sun at its zenith. So the king inspires. In other words, you don't have to be sad that you're not the one doing the inspiration here, but because of the inspiration of someone higher, you're actually getting to a successful place. And it is fitting to be like the sun at the zenith, meaning it's okay to be, in your time, the center of attention, and that's what's coming up here. So our foundation line, our bottom line here, on meeting a prince of equal rank, though he accepts his hospitality for 10 days, he is not at fault. Progress is made in winning respect. Just because you meet somebody who is on the same level as you, when you treat them with respect and kindness, as it says here, on meeting a prince of equal rank, he accepts his hospitality for 10 days, he is not at fault. You're not seeking to gain from this person. You're seeking just for companionship, for friendship. And if you're in a business situation and you're both applying for the same promotion, don't be hostile with each other, because even if you don't realize it, there's people above that are watching, and how you two treat each other is what's going to be important. And that's where it says progress is made in winning respect. When you can treat those who are, a lower level than you or the same level with the same respect as you treat yourself, it makes a difference in how people show up. So our second place line, so great the obstruction that midday sun appears as a tiny star. To advance now would be to invite mistrust and ill. However, confidence seems to be, of course, on the next page, confidence seems to be on the increase with good fortune. You don't want to do a bunch of extra. That's the key point here, because it states, so great is the obstruction that midday sun appears as a star. If you're not paying attention to what's important, you're not going to see the bigger picture. And to advance now would be to invite mistrust and ills. That's where you want to treat people with that respect, because then others are going to notice, hey, this person, even though they're of a higher rank, are still treating the janitor the same as CEO with respect and kindness. Others are going to notice that, and that's where you're going to have that increase and that good fortune. So the big takeaway so far for June for Earth is be honest, be upright, be respectful, and you're going to get that in return. So our third place line, so copious is the rain that even at midday there is obscurity. He breaks his right forearm, no error. So what this really means is when things start to just come apart at the seams, kind of a feeling, or as in this case, so copious is the rain, at midday there is obscurity, meaning there's so much going on you can't really advance, and if you do advance, you break your right forearm, it's not an error on your part. Meaning, if things just really hit a roadblock and you're stuck, sit down, take a breather, look around. there's another path available. There's something else opening up, but right now is not the time to push forward. So be open to those situations where things just kind of roadblock, door slam. Take a breath, pause, look around. What are you missing? Because you're probably missing something super important. Our fourth place line. So great is the obstruction that the midday sun appears as a star, meeting a prince of equal rank, good fortune. So if you keep running into this obstruction area where you just cannot get through, you can see where you need to go. It looks really far away. It's really not. It feels like that. And you meet the prince of equal rank, meaning someone else is on the same path. And because now there's two minds working towards the same goal, all of a sudden things get easier. You don't have to struggle, meaning you don't have to fight this situation alone. There could be, this is terrible to say, but it does happen, the higher ups are dangling that one promotion ahead of both of you, knowing that there's two, but they're only telling you that it's one. You guys join forces and go forward, not caring who gets it. When the other person does, because it was respectful competition, the second position opens up. And I can tell with this, I had that experience in my own personal day job work, where we were both going for a certain position, and it was respectful between the two of us. The other person got it, but it actually worked out better for both parties in the end. So don't think that because things are feeling like you can't win this, see who else is fighting there too. And if you're on the same playing field, the same rank, what happens if you team up? So our fifth place line right here. The variegated beauty of the sky after the storm appears. Blessings and fame are one, good fortune. Things are always going to work out the way they're supposed to when you follow the divine path, when you stick to your morals, ethics, your personal code of conduct, work with divine source. And when you do that, the variegated beauty of the sky after a storm. You know what the sky looks like after a really heavy rainstorm, lightning, thunder carrying on, then the sky clears, the sun comes through. The world looks amazing afterwards. And that's what this is saying, is blessings and fame are one, good fortune. When you come out of the conflict, where you're not fighting with the person next to you, you're actually working together, things go really well after the fact. And that's what's coming forward here. Our capstone, our top line here, there is an abundance in his dwelling and a wall around the house, yet peering through the gate he sees no one. For 3 years he sees nobody, misfortune. Just because you achieve your success, however that looks like for you personally, that doesn't mean that others are just going to be swarming you to pat you on the back. Don't look at it like that. If the only reason that you're moving up the ranks, and I'm going to say this bluntly, if the ego is only looking to move up the ranks, you're going to have the misfortune of, when you do achieve your goal, yay, success, no one cares. No one's going to pat you on the back. No one's going to come to you for advice, because you weren't walking with integrity and you weren't walking with a moral and ethical code. That's why it's so focused on in that I-ching that when you're doing these things, you want to make sure that you are being successful, supportive, and in alignment with the other people on the same path. By doing so, you have success and things look good. If you don't, yeah, you might get your success, but at what cost? So with that, we'll hop into our tarot in our cards and see what they bring forward. I like to read each through the month, week by week. There's 4.5 weeks, so we'll do 4 weeks and a bonus week. Each week we look at a guide or guardian, a message from source, and then we get a little more clarification from the tarot. And your first week's guide or guardian. Also, side note, all of the cards are linked in the description. If you like a certain deck, you can check those out. Some of them are affiliate links, some aren't. Also, I read intuitively, so if you see something different with the cards, feel free to comment down below and let me know your intuitive guidance or your messages that are coming in. It's always fun to hear what other people have to say, and you might say the thing that I missed that someone else needs to hear. So, with that, we'll hop into your first week's guide or guardian is self-acceptance. This is not always an easy thing, Earth. Sometimes accepting ourselves as we are, whether it's a little fluffy, our hair's not the right color, we've got too many wrinkles, whatever's going on there, when we accept ourselves fully, because we see ourselves through the divine lens, that agape love lens. Suddenly we don't have the ego to be like, I'm so much better than someone else, or oh, I'm not good enough, I just can't. When we accept ourselves fully, we know that we are where we're supposed to be. Yeah, we may not be that model up on the runway, fine, but I'm healthy. I can eat a sandwich if I want to. I may not, I may be better than someone else, but I still have my faults. But I'm willing to grow and expand beyond them. That's the self-acceptance, is knowing where you are in this moment, embracing that, and then looking to, this is great, how can I improve? And that is a huge thing. You're not judging yourself negatively. You're saying, okay, this is the things I need to work on. How do I do this? You take a challenge and make it a lesson. A lesson allows you to grow. So, your message from Source is Archangel Gabriel, messenger of creativity and hope. When you're looking at self-acceptance and you're trying to figure that one out this first week, Gabriel is going to come in and help you understand the emotional side of things. Creativity and hope. Yeah, you may not have the money. Fine, how can we build this? You may not have the body. Cool. Can we start walking every day? Like, how do you make this creative? How do you have fun with it? That's the thing that I will say about the good old days, is you could go and pick up the dance videos and stuff like that for exercise, the aerobic videos, and they were just a lot of fun. And it wasn't like you had to go find a community to do it, although those are fun too. But this concept of self-acceptance with Archangel Gabriel is really saying, when you accept where you are, it frees you from all the guilt and the shame that others like to apply. And when you do that, it opens a door to, okay, I may not be where I want to be. How do I get there? What steps do I need to take to achieve this next level of reality and of grace? And when you're doing so with the energy of joy, of creativity, and hope, suddenly things happen a lot easier, and you're like, oh, well, I already achieved this. I was stressed over nothing. This is great. So this first week is coming to some of these awarenesses. You're not going to solve it all in one day. If you do, great, amazing. I'm super happy for you. And if you don't, that's fine. We all are on a journey, and it's our own destination. Your message from Tarot is the Three of Wands, Three of Fire, so this is still a complementary energy for you. The Three of Wands is saying, don't get wrapped up in the longing for success, the need for completion. This whole putting too much focus on the future and forgetting you actually live in the present type of energy. And when you quit focusing so heavily on, but I don't have it, But yes, but what do you do have? Look around yourself and see the gratitude, and notice how things shift when you quit basically not whining, but pining for the future that you don't have, and you realize where you're at and you learn to accept this and work with this energy. Suddenly the future becomes a lot closer, and you will, personal experience here, you'll have the thing that you were looking for when you weren't even paying attention. And then when you do have it, you're like, oh, where'd this come from? You totally forgot you found it. And that's the energy that's coming in, is with the Three of Wands. Yes, that passion, that drive for the future is great, but don't forget where you're standing right now, because this is actually better than you were. It may not be where you want to be, but you're still moving in the right direction. Your message from your guides and guardians for the second week is harmony and resolution. When you work with harmony, the resolution becomes easier. Just like the I-ching, when you work with the person who's on the same playing field, the Prince of equal rank, you're able to find your success through harmony. You both are working towards a goal, and things work out best when you're in alignment with each other and with God's source. So the second week is just reminding you to tap into that energy. The I-ching saying, these are the steps of the month. This is kind of the overview. This is the breakdown. So the second week is when you're going to notice that this need to work with someone of equal rank is going to become so important for you. And when you do that, you're going to notice that it's not as complex as you might have thought in the first place. Your message from Source is the dragon with discovering your courage. Earth, you may come to a point this month where you're not feeling like you're capable of this. So the second week is where this doubt may come in. When you work with the harmony and resolution angels, you've worked with a prince of equal rank, then the dragon becomes the logical next step. Do you have the courage to step forward and actually complete this project? And I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm telling you to ask yourself this question. If the answer is yes, then do it. If the answer is no, figure out why. because Source is on your side here. I'm not seeing a lot of negativity, no roadblocks. A lot of your challenges are coming from, I have to do it alone. No, you don't. The I-ching's like, no. You're doing this with someone else. Someone who's on the same playing field, on the same page. It's going to work out better for you when you work together, and that's also what's coming through in the cards here. Your message from the tarot is number 20 with Judgment. You can also say this is like a discernment energy. The Judgment is, are you ready? Are you willing? Have you overcome your demons? Because if you have, then what's stopping you? Have you overcome the egoic side of, I'm going to do it myself and you're not going to tell me no? Or have you stepped into this beautiful side of it saying, you know what? I admit that there's things I don't know about the situation. There's aspects that I need growth, guidance, and protection in. If I'm working with someone else, we can walk back to back and solve this. There's two sets of eyes instead of one. We can keep a much clearer view, and the judgment aspect is when you're able to discern the best path forward, the choice becomes easy. It's when you're not looking around and you're trying to do it all yourself, you miss the easier path sometimes. You miss the open doors because you're trying to crawl out the window. And that's where this energy in the second week is saying, come in with harmony, work with the people who are on the same playing field as you, and when you do that, notice the doors that open. Your third week's guide or guardian is opportunity and change. When you're ready for the opportunities, when you come into harmony, the access to change becomes inevitable and it becomes easy. Man, this card disappears into my background. That's pretty cool. The opportunity and change is saying you have the opportunities. Are you willing to take the steps to change? You have the doors that are open. Are you ready to cross the threshold? You have the support system you need. Are you willing to ask them for the assistance to move forward? Not always the easiest thing, but if you've worked with your dragon energy in the second week with that discovering your courage side, then the opportunities become easier. The I-ching talks about making these different alignments with people on the same page, the Prince of Equal Rank. All of a sudden doors open up. Things become a lot easier, and it's just picking the opportunities that are going towards the goals you're aimed for. Your message from Source is the gratitude energy with be grateful for all you have. Just like the first week saying, when you don't pine for the future and show great gratitude for where you're at, things get easier. The second week, at each opportunity that you are given, each change that you make, are you thanking God's Source, the will of heaven, for giving you this opportunity for growth, giving you this opportunity for change, giving you the opportunity for understanding of yourself, moving forward towards the next best thing? Are you showing that gratitude? Every challenge that you have in life is not a poor you or shame on you, I'm smiting you from heaven, says Zeus. It's the door of, you have some growth to do. Here's a lesson. Are you willing to learn it? And if the answer is yes, then you're being grateful for the lesson that was given, for the knowledge that you have now acquired. When you look at all these challenges and these ups and downs and these frustrations as punishment from, divine being, you're not learning anything, are you? And that's, again, with parents. The parents who are sometimes a little bit more strict, to the point where in the moment you're like, this just stinks. And then you grow up and you're like, oh, that's why they did that. Same concept. In the moment, you may not like it, but you've matured, you've grown up. Now you can look at these challenges as, okay, what's happening? What do I need to learn? And can I show gratitude for the journey? Because it's character development, it's character growth, it's soul expansion. Doesn't mean it's easy. I will never tell you it's easy, but it's necessary. And when we can show gratitude for that, like with the Buddha, you feel nothing, you are nothing, but you're in joy, because yes, each of these challenges means I'm on the right path and I'm understanding and I'm willing to grow. So work with that energy and find the joy in the suffering, find the peace in the misery, find the gratitude in the challenge. Easier said than done, fully aware. Your message from the tarot is the 8 of Wands, the 8 of Fire, so still with that passion energy going on here. But the 8 of Wands are saying you've come further. You're getting closer to the end. There's an eternal energy of almost naivety, but also of knowledge. So it's, again, that balance. And when you look at the 8 from the side, it's the infinity symbol. So that's the energy you're getting here. Is this is a constant thing. You're never going to hit Earth. You're never going to hit the point where I'm done. All my lessons are learned. I can move forward. No, you're not. You're going to continue to learn. But when you do so with wisdom and you do so with gratitude, with the angels helping you find your opportunities to grow, it's not as big of a deal anymore. And you realize that, okay, looks very similar to something I've already done. I learned that lesson. So what are we refining here? And when you start to look at the challenges in life from that perspective, it almost becomes fun to be like a mystery game. What's coming next? How do I solve it? What am I going to learn from this? And that's actually beneficial. That's going to help you steal the opportunity from the chaos there. So this 4th week is the Sacred Plan Angels. These angels are coming in this 4th week. This month's been a little up and down, but it's heading towards a specific purpose. In this 4th week, the angels of the Sacred Plan are coming in to say, now you see why you've had to deal with the things you've dealt with. Not just this month, but in the last several years. There's been a plan of spiritual development that your soul, your higher self, God's source, and your shadow, can't leave that out, have all been working towards a goal to help you improve, help you to get better, and help you become the best version of yourself. This 4th week is where you start to understand a little more clearly, maybe not fully, but a little more clearly what that sacred plan really was. What's your purpose in this moment? Doesn't mean that won't change in the future, but in this moment, what is your purpose? What do you feel is your drive, the direction you want to head? When you can answer that question, which should be fairly simple in the moment, but when you answer that, you can start to see how the pattern of life has played out, bringing you to this point. Your message from Source is Archangel Raphael, provider of healing for mind, body, and spirit. You also had Archangel Gabriel the 1st week, so Raphael's coming in to help you integrate. Raphael's going to help you heal any of the wounds that were exposed. As you went through this, you may have had a little ego death happen, a little ego restriction, because you're working with someone else and it's not just you doing it, Earth, and that's okay. But you might have stung a little bit, so there's some healing that needs to come up. Process your healing in this 4th week. It's in alignment with the sacred plan. You're not being punished. You're being reminded of what you agreed to when you came into this physical incarnation. And when you do that, the healing becomes way easier and it feels way better. But you also are being called to this next level of existence with this healing, because it's not about, I'm going to heal you and leave you right where you're at laying in the mud. I'm going to heal you and let's get you out of the mud so you don't get infected again. Your message from the tarot is the Temperance. I have to edit this card just a second here. Doop. It's the finger edits. But Temperance is about finding balance. You can't pour for an empty cup. You also have to find balance when to say yes, when to say no. And in this 4th week, you see the sacred plan that has led you to where you are at now. You understand that there were times where you needed to say no for your own health and safety. There's other times where you should have said yes, and when you didn't, maybe things didn't go as well as they should. But in this 4th week, with the sacred plan, with Raphael coming in to show the healing, Temperance is saying, now you know why the balance is important. And Earth, you're pretty good at staying grounded. But there might be more going on here that meets the eye, and that's where having someone of equal rank is going to be beneficial and supportive of you going forward. So your last week's guide or guardian, kind of your bonus week here, is intuition and downloads. When you come to the end of the sacred plan, you may start to notice that things pop in a little bit easier. You're more aware of your intuitive guidance, the spiritual downloads that come from Source. And when you are aware of those, all of a sudden you start to see, oh, that's what I was missing. That's why this has been happening. This is where we are going next. It opens the doors for your success. It opens the doors for your growth. And when you're following your intuition, all of a sudden it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like struggle. You may be a challenge, but all of a sudden you realize why this challenge is happening and what's coming out the other side. And that brings us to your message from Source, which, this is an interesting one. 7 deadly sins. Humanity's destructive traits. What are your destructive traits? Are they self-destructive or are they self-sabotaging? Same thing, really. The 7 deadly sins are, what are you doing to sabotage your path? Source wants you to get clear. You have a soul's mission. You've worked through energy this month, showing you success, showing you working with other people. And now it's time to do a little self-reflection. What's in the way of your success? What's in the way of your growth? Is it doom scrolling at 2 o'clock in the morning? Is it eating too much of that one kind of food that you just absolutely love and can't seem to stop eating, which is really great for diets, right? Is it that one beverage? Is it that one plant that you use too much? Is it something along those lines? Or is it gossip? Is it sloth? You're just always tired and you don't have the time to do anything. What is it that's blocking you from achieving your goals? What is it that is blocking you from really opening the doorway to your success? And that's what Source wants to bring up here. Is it's not picking on you. It's self-examination. And Source will, if you ask for guidance on this, trust me, the door's going to open up and it's like, well, there's this, there's this, there's this, there's this. And you're like overwhelmed. How do I fix this? And Source is like, oh, that's easy. This is what we do instead of this. This is how we fix this. And we do this instead of this. And it really lays itself out pretty plain when you start seeking the answers for it. But it's that self-reflection part, because you don't want to admit it to yourself. Totally understand. There's things in my life I'm still working on. Don't take that as a negative. Take that as Source actually wants to help you. Source is trying to help you become the better version. But when we're self-reflective enough to be like, oh, that might be in the way, Source is like, cool, how do we fix this? And you'll work together with Source to fix it. Your message from the tarot is the Knight of Swords, Knight of Air, one of the more active of the knights. The Knight of Air is saying, this is your champion to remove these blocks. The Knight of Air is about, which is your challenge, Earth, because you're Earth. This is Air, which is the opposite energy of you. This is overcoming these challenges. This is pushing back against the things that no longer serve. Is it going to be easy? Probably not. But when you have the Knight of Air coming in, it's going to be quick. And you've got this energy of cutting away, clearing away the miasma. So you've went through this month really with a good vibe, good energy. This last week, it's saying, okay, you have this good buildup going on. You got some opportunities coming in. You've had some successes. The bonus week is saying, time for some reflection. What is it that doesn't work? What's in the way? And how do we fix it? So with that, I will let you guys and gals go. Earth, I hope you have a great month of June, which it looks like you're going to. The ending might feel like it's a little heavy, but it's actually a positive thing, because every time you grow, you have to figure out what didn't work and remove it from the equation. So that's what's coming up the last week of the month. But overall, you've got a really good month here, Earth. With that, I will let you guys go. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and I will see you in the next video.